If you're a clinic owner, you've most likely been told that you need to run ads on Google and on Facebook. You need to focus on your SEO. You also need to post on your social media. The reality is clinic owners are overwhelmed by either marketing advice that's too generic or too complicated for them to execute by themselves. And with all the noise out there, you actually don't know what's moving the needle and where you should invest your time and money. So in this video, I'm going to break down what type of marketing actually works for healthcare clinics. I'm going to show you the data, what channels are actually working, and also the framework that kind of ties it all together. If you're new here, my name is Laukik. I am the CEO and owner of LXP Digital, and we work with clinic owners, managers, and directors to optimize their patient acquisition systems. I drop videos like this every single week, so make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Let me show you what's happening in healthcare marketing right now because the landscape is changing drastically. According to recent data from Promotional, 7% of all searches on Google are healthcare related. That means 70,000 searches per minute, which equates to over 1 billion searches for healthcare in the day. And here's what matters. 77% of people search online before booking an appointment. So if you're not visible online, you're missing out on 3/4 of that population. Now, healthcare marketing budgets have increased by 7% in 2025, and 72% of that budget is going towards digital channels. Now, according to another article by Digital Silk, 65% of people search online before contacting a doctor, and 91% of them expect a response within 24 hours. Being visible is just one part, being responsive is the other end. And the reason for this is because there's so many other options out there that people might be inquiring with 2 or 3 different clinics to see which one they can get into the fastest. So let's talk about conversion rates because this is where a lot of clinics get surprised. In general, the average conversion rate is between 3 and 4%. So that means if you got in 100 leads, only 3 or 4 people of those would actually move forward. However, on the clinic and hospital side, you have conversion rates that are a little bit higher at 12%. Why the difference? Because when people are searching for hospitals and clinics, they have a real problem that they need a real solution to. They're not just casually browsing, which means that the intent is higher. So if your marketing is set up correctly, meaning your website is great, your SEO is done well, your ads are performing really well, you are likely to increase your conversion rate because you are directly speaking to that person. So let's go into the specific digital channels and what they actually do for your clinic. First, let's talk about SEO. Clinics that invest in their SEO see a decrease of 45% in acquisition costs over 18 months. So when someone searches alternatives for ADHD medication or treatment-resistant depression options and your website shows up, because they're in research mode and you're educating them on these different options, you are building trust before they even contact you. And here's the key, patient education increases conversion rate by 28%. So it's not just about being found on Google, it's also about educating the people that find you. Now let's talk about Google Ads. So for medical practices, the average click-through rate is about 3.3% and the average cost per lead is around 53%. But this is an average because these numbers fluctuate based on the specialty. So for example, a hospital might get a cost per lead at around $32 versus a cosmetic surgery clinic might get leads at around $130. Google Ads is really powerful because it captures people who are ready to move forward, people who are actively searching in the market and need some sort of a solution. But the problem is Google ad costs have increased by 34% year over year. So if you're only relying on Google Ads, you are going to be paying a lot of money just to get leads. So this brings me to Meta, which is my favorite digital platform, not to just create awareness, but also drive leads. You get cost per clicks between $1 to like $8, $9, but it's way cheaper than Google. More importantly, Meta helps you create demand where it didn't exist previously. Remember, on Google, people already know they have a problem and are actively looking for a solution. However, on Meta, because you can put ads out in front of them, you're able to actually drive more awareness and help people with a problem they didn't even know they had. So by you having ads that talk to their specific problems and propose a solution for it, you're creating demand and trust before they even contact you. And did you know that video content drives 67% of healthcare patient education? So when you're putting an ad out there and educating people about your service and treatment, you're actually not just building trust, but you're also helping them get more educated on what your treatment is. Now, the most underestimated digital channel people often overlook is email marketing. Email marketing has 3,600% ROI, which means for every dollar you put in, you get $36 back. With an average open rate of 41% and a conversion rate of 2%, email marketing is the most cost-effective digital channel you can have. Email marketing is not for cold outreach. It's for people who've already raised their hand and showed interest in your service. So this is like lead nurturing sequences. Maybe they inquired but didn't book a call, or they book a call and are thinking about it. And the data actually backs this up. Automated email sequences increase conversion rate by 23% because sometimes people might be interested, but they just need a little bit more education, time, and some reminders. Okay, so we've talked about all the digital channels, so let's tie all that together. And here's where most clinics go wrong. They treat each channel like it should work independently. They either expect their SEO to do everything for them or have their social media blow up, go viral, and get more bookings through there, but that is not the case. The reality is that all these channels do not work independently, they work together in what I call the AET framework: awareness, education, and trust. Awareness is top of the funnel. This is where people actually learn about you, know you exist, and that there is a solution for their problem. So social media, meta ads, content marketing are all those things that are going to help them become more educated on you and your treatments. Education is the middle of the funnel. This is what helps people make informed decisions. Here's where people are trying to understand if your treatment is right for them. So SEO, blog posts, content marketing, lead nurture sequences, all of these things that tie into helping them make an informed decision. Finally, trust is the bottom of the funnel. This is where people are ready to move forward, but they need confidence in you as a clinic. You can include patient stories, testimonials, and even other nurturing email sequences that educate them more on the pricing, the commitment, things like that. And the reason why this framework matters is because all marketing channels reach a saturation point where ROI diminishes. But a diversified media mix is what creates a lift effect where one channel enhances another. For example, when you run ads on Meta, people are more likely to click on your search ads after. One thing I want to mention is that people need to see you or interact with your brand 7 times before they actually make a decision to even inquire about your services. So when you're showing up on their Google searches or you're showing up on their Meta feed, they see you everywhere. So each channel might have a specific role, but when they work together, you have a complete patient acquisition system that's optimized to maintain your patient flow. Before we wrap up, let me tell you what doesn't work, because this is just as important. First off, promotional marketing does not work as well as it used to in healthcare. So if you're just promoting things like book now, limited time offer, and discounts, it's not going to work for you and your clinic is probably going to struggle. Instead, lead with educational content, because in healthcare, it's not an impulse buy. Secondly, don't rely on one channel, because maybe you might be running Google ads and getting a trickle of leads here and there, but what if on Meta your ads perform much better because you're getting in front of a different audience? I really want to emphasize having a diversified approach to your clinic's marketing. And finally, do not ignore speed to lead, because when people are inquiring about these services, you're not the only person they're inquiring with. If you are the first one that gets in touch with them, gives them the education, and builds the trust, you are more likely to get them over your competitors. I really want you to understand these digital channels and how they impact your clinic's patient acquisition, because it can make a night and day difference in how you either hire a marketing company or do marketing yourself. If you're watching this and you realize that your marketing is missing one of these pieces, or you're doing all of those things but your marketing is just not clicking, I urge you to book a call with me. I've included a link in the description below. We'll take a look at what you're doing right now. I'll do a quick audit of your digital presence and we can see how we can work together. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.